Hey, Diana, did you know deciding which tech tool to use is easy?
Mark, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Ladies and gentlemen, jurists and just curious, welcome to the Successful Barrister podcast. Here you'll learn about marketing, management, and life skills for lawyers that probably won't get you disbarred. Hosted by Marc Whitehead, a seasoned lawyer who remembers when fax machines were cutting edge, and Diana Berry, attorney, COO, and the brains behind the scenes. Together, they are the legal world's most dynamic duo since statutes met regulations. So if you're looking to build a practice, not a prison, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Successful Barrister, where legal legends are made.
And welcome to the Successful Barrister podcast, the podcast for lawyers and law firm leaders about marketing, management, and life skills that probably won't get you disbarred. I am your host, Marc Whitehead, alongside my number one, my COO, my right hand, Diana Berry. Hey, Diana, what's up?
Not much, Mark. I have my tea today. I'm still under the weather a little bit. I don't know, from the flu last month. So I'm going to hope to make it without.
You're going to try to not hack as much as you did on the last.
I did. Apologies,
So this is our second podcast of the year.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So, we're getting rolling. I looked at it. I think we are on episode like 79 or 80.
That's impressive.
So we're going to hit 100 this year. So for our 100th episode, we're going to have to do something special. So I'm giving you fair warning to start thinking about it.
That's ominous, Mark.
I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like, but I would say this: if anybody out there has any topics that they want us to talk about or any ideas for our 100th episode, hit me up with an email, marc@marcwhitehead.com, Marc spelled with a C. I've gotten a lot of emails this past week.
Really?
People are asking for our marketing plan that I offered to everybody. So I guess I'm still making that offer. Anybody who wants it, I'll send it to you in Word version so you can like rip my name off of it and slap your name on it and look like you did something special.
Hey, you might have just completed a rock.
I might have. Absolutely. Why are we here? What the hell are we talking about today?
We were going to talk about technology without using any expletives.
I don't know if that is possible.
Well, it's a challenge, Mark. We all know you have very colorful language. Let's see how uncolorful you can be.
No, that's no fun. But anyway, I will do my best. But I can almost guarantee you with tech, because last night I yelled at my wife because I was sitting there shopping on my phone, and I was trying to buy this really cool full ostrich quill belt.
Oh.
From Cavender's.
Getting ready for rodeo season.
And I'm getting ready for rodeo season, and I'm sitting there trying to do my phone, and it's just not working. And I'm starting to scream at my phone, and my wife comes in and asks me to do something, and I just turned and screamed at her, and she looked at me.
Oh.
You don't scream at Mrs. Whitehead.
No, sir. I'm feeling
as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I was just grabbing to pull them back, but it was too late, and I had to crawl under the couch,
for safety?
And beg for forgiveness, like this is what tech will do to you. So,
well, it's probably a big screen problem, but that isn't what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 3 tech tools that we at the four.
I came up with the last one last minute.
And I should have. I'm a little embarrassed that I did not come up with this one on my own. But 4 tech tools that we at Marc Whitehead Associates can't live without currently. So really excited about this one because all of these I have implemented.
You're a tech nerd.
Implementation is a big part of what I do at your firm. So I will say, though, listeners, that there is a bit of a caveat to the way that I approached this episode in that these are tech tools that we can't live without, like 201. When I was in college, like there was like Intro to Business 101, Intro to Business 201, and then I guess maybe at some point you did Intro to Business 301. I don't know, but
this is so old school because I know for a fact, since I have college-age kids, that they have gone to a 4-digit numbering system. So now it would be something like, it would probably like 2001 or 2010.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everything has gone, all the classes have gone to 4 digits, at least.
Well, I'm very old, so I'm not very old, but I am old enough
I'm
to know
so old
that
enough,
we
we
still
had 1 digit, so.
Okay, well, this is still the second iteration of tech tools that we at the firm can't live without. I will say that if you do not have some of the basics that we talk about on this podcast, kind of almost ad nauseum, if you don't have those established, this episode's probably not for you. Go back and do the things that we've talked about in the past. Like
run before you walk.
Exactly. Like have a case management software, a cloud-based case management software is what I would say, because
yes, pandemic taught us that must have cloud-based case management or you're screwed.
Yep. You got to have that. I would say that another basics or 101, 1001, whatever they're calling it these days. I would make sure you have a phone system integrated into that case management software. We have a system now, and just make sure, because it just makes it so seamless. That would be phone integration into your case management software would be what I call kind of basic tech tools that you must have.
I would add one. I would say bookkeeping into your case management system.
Oh, I would say that's 201.
You think that's 201?
Maybe 301.
Oh my God. Okay. How about you just the fact that you have a cloud-based bookkeeping system, i.e. the QuickBooks we all hate?
Those are foundational tools, absolutely. These are more kind of nice to haves that really allow you to scale.
These that you're about to talk about.
Exactly. Today's episode are tools that will allow you to scale, allow you to grow, maximize what you've done. It's just, but the foundational tools, a scorecard method, whether that's, I think Filevine has Domo or something like that. Litify has all of our scorecards. If you don't have a scorecard of some sort, even if it's in Excel, then go back and do those things first before doing this episode. Otherwise, you're probably doing things you're not going to get as much.
Well, don't tell people not to listen to this episode because
listen to this
our
episode.
sponsors want us to get our ratings as high as possible. So everybody listen to this, even if you are still in the Stone Ages. Just listen.
Just listen and have hashtag goals. Maybe 2027. Put on your 2027 roadmap.
Yeah. What else you got to do? You're driving. What do you think?
And then, so one of the things that everybody, I feel like the question top of mind today, even I was just on a roundtable discussion, and everybody wants to know, well, what tech to implement and when do you implement it? And I would say that if you're struggling with, okay, I have all these options. All of these vendors keep talking to me when I go to the vendor hall, and they keep telling me that I need this and I'm going to change this. I would say counterintuitively, go back to basics and figure out what really moves the needle for your practice area. So for Marc, for example, what things would you say really move the needle in your disability practice area?
Okay, so number one, being able to talk to clients on a mass basis, since we have thousands of clients, and gee, it is really hard to send out the same email to everybody over and over again. That's just a pain in the ass. So the mass communication to clients, I think, is key. We also get a tremendous amount of mail from the government, so the ability to sort and scan the mail automatically and have that sorting and AI feature, the one you forgot about that I added last minute, to trigger workflows within our case management system, I think has been huge. God, I don't know. I'm blanking. What else am I missing?
Well, I mean, I can even go back to even more basics, and I would say just medical records.
Oh,
right. If you're a PI firm, medical records is just the foundation of any of our cases.
Right.
Probably less so if you're in estate planning. What other listeners do we have?
Family. We have a lot of family.
I do think that this is when we decide what tech tools to implement at the firm. We look for things that are going to make what we do every day a lot easier. Medical record summarization, mass communication, transparency of where we are in the process, because we do have such long case times. And so when we go back to figuring out, okay, what can we implement now? What can we scale now? I'd say go back to basics.
All right. Well, with that, when we come back, we are going to get into Diana's favorite 4 tech tools, or we can call it 3+1, whatever you want to call it. All right, we'll be right back.
This podcast is sponsored by Marc Whitehead Associates, a national disability benefits law firm. Marc Whitehead runs a firm of over 60 dedicated people whose mission is to make a difference in the lives of our injured and disabled clients. Marc represents disabled claimants in Social Security disability, private disability insurance, and veterans disability claims in all 50 states. Marc Whitehead is double board certified in both Social Security disability law and personal injury trial law. Marc has litigated disability cases in over 40 states and counting and can help your clients too. Stop throwing your phone calls away. Call Marc Whitehead at 701-VIP-LEAD. That's 701-VIP-LEAD. Or visit our website at disabilitydenials.com. Referral fees are paid in all jurisdictions where it is permitted. Refer us your disability cases today and know that your clients will be in good hands.
And we're back. All right, so we're going to get into our 4 tech tools. And I was going to mention, so this week, day after tomorrow, as we're taping, it's a Monday. So on Wednesday, I'm getting a plane to go to Orlando to visit the PILMA AI Expo, which will be 3 lovely days in Orlando. I can't believe how many times I'm having to go to Orlando this year. It's just
you and me both.
Ad nauseum. I can count 6 times on the calendar at least that we're having to go to conferences in Orlando.
I got 5.
Okay. Anyway, so PILMA, for those who don't know, the Personal Injury Lawyer Marketing and Management Association, the biggest mouthy name of any organization I'm aware of.
PILMA's a lot easier.
PILMA's a lot easier. We love you, Ken. They're having an AI Tech Expo.
Their first ever.
Their first ever. And a lot of the vendors that we know that have been out there pushing the AI are at this thing, you know, and they're all speaking. And unfortunately, you're not going to get to go.
I am sad to miss Orlando. I actually sad to miss
going to take copious notes and spend a lot of time in the vendor hall meeting.
That sounds about appropriate.
Yeah, that's really probably more likely what I do.
No copious notes.
Now, what I'll do is I'm just going to walk around and hand out Diana's card, and I say, call this woman when you get back to your office, and you're going to get flooded with all these vendor calls.
This is why I don't give you business cards, Marc.
I have a stack of yours already. Thank you very much, because I print them.
You act like you own this building.
I do own this building.
So what are we talking about first?
Okay.
Marc? What's our first tech tool we love here at the firm?
Okay, so the first tech tool is going to be regarding using AI for your intake department, for your sales department. And there's 2 ways that you can do this. And I'm going to reverse the order of your outline here and start with AI agents. That means artificial intelligence agents. In other words, computerized intake specialists.
Call center people.
To basically either take incoming phone calls or take outbound phone calls. And of course, I've always thought this is wild and wacky and people would hate this. But it just so happens yesterday, Sunday afternoon, I needed to call a plumber and had a plumbing issue and an electrical issue. And I called a company, I'll name them, John Moore Services here in Houston. Big outfit. They're all over TV. Called John Moore Services. And I started talking to this woman by the name of Mary and telling her what was going on. And she was asking me questions and taking my information. And I'd called them before, so she recognized my phone number and said, "Is this Mr. Whitehead?" And I said, "And you're still at this address?" And I go, "No, we have moved." You know, so she updated our contact. We did all the stuff. We were talking. And as I'm talking, every so often she would occasionally repeat the same phrase over and over again. And I don't think most people would have noticed this, but being the
business owner
business owner that I am, I started noticing and I started paying attention and I started asking little test questions until I was fairly certain I was talking to an AI agent. But I was tremendously impressed by this technology. As a matter of fact, I talked to the plumber today and I asked him, what sort of technology do you use
the actual human
for the
one?
AI agent? And we had this conversation. And it was a complex conversation. We were coordinating between plumbing and electrical and all of this fun stuff. And she set appointments and she had the service reps come out at particular times. And I was talking to an AI agent. And I guarantee you, if I wasn't in the business that I'm in, the average Joe would have had no idea they were talking to a tech agent.
She was that good.
She was that good. I asked her at the very end, I said, "Are you AI?" And she goes, I'm a virtual assistant.
Ooh,
That's how she phrased it.
That's
But
really
she
good.
acknowledged, you know. Anyway, so we don't have this right now, but I want one of those. As a matter of fact, I'm calling the owner of John Moore Services, and I'm going to ask him, what technology are you using? Because it is really, really good. And I understand. And I called on a Sunday, so I'm sure they have a call center. I know I've talked to live people there before, but so they're basically, I'm assuming they're using it as an after-hour service or weekend service. But I would bet that they also use it as an overflow. And at some point, they may totally replace their live intake agents. I don't know. But I was just totally impressed with the technology. So I'm going to the AI Expo, and there are multiple vendors there that are pitching this type of product. And so this is one of the things that I really want to look at, to replace your overpriced after-hours call center, to be able to answer phone calls on the weekend intelligently, to be able to supplement your intake people when the calls are heavy. Also, I want to look at it for outbound calling. So, we have this issue. We will call people and you can't get a hold of them. And our rule is you got to call people 10 times before you give up. Well, honestly, that is wasting a lot of resources from my very skilled, very valuable live intake people. Why couldn't an automated system make all of these multiple follow-up calls? Why not? So this is one of the main things that I want to look into at Pilma when I'm there. But I think it's something that all of us need to be looking at. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, and you will be excited to know that was actually one of our Q4 initiatives with your intake manager last year.
Yes.
To look into, to explore a few of them. And she mentioned some of the ones she looked at. We looked at Nido.ci, Smith.ai, Lawbroker Blazo, and Alert Communications. I'm not going to tell you guys which one we went with because we're still in contract negotiations. So Mark could come back and blow this whole up in a week.
I have no idea who you're negotiating with either. So,
but guys, the whole, like Mark, just to recap, you're obviously trying to eliminate the missed calls. So all your marketing dollars, when your team is completely busy, all that overflow that's going to an answering service. And for our practice areas, it is a lot harder to screen. I know a lot of the PI firms can give their answering services a, if then or decision
There's 6
tree.
questions you need to know in a PI. Are you hurt? Did somebody else cause it? Was it less than 2 years ago? Boom, sign it. That's easy.
Really a lot harder in our practice area. So we could potentially lose a lot of leads over the weekend if we're not appropriately staffed, because work-life balance is a thing here at Marc Whitehead Associates, and so not everybody wants to work or can work a weekend. And we're not going to trust our answering service to sign up our leads. And so by the time that they come back on Monday, they could have signed with another firm. But this allows us to hopefully eliminate or at least diminish the lost leads. There's also the voice that you talked about with your experience, Mark, but there's also the chat function, just so that our people are aware of. And you actually have Intaker on your website.
Right. You can explain how that works, because again, that's one of those technologies that I own that I don't know what it does.
Well, and I'm not sure that I do either, except for that it's Intaker video. Yeah, but
it's chat and video on our website. So
Exactly.
If you get on the website, would you like to talk to a live person? Would you like to chat? And you're basically using an AI bot to basically talk and get basic information, not a full screen, but getting the basics.
And we can also use Smith AI, which we use as our overflow. Smith AI is also starting to launch that AI agent component as well.
So Smith is our overflow call center.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the other part, other than the AI agents that you can use AI for in intake, is the lead rescue, which
Correct.
is really exciting. When we went to Pilma in May last year in Denver, this was really one of the most exciting things that I got from the conference. And we just are right now in our 2-week trial period.
Yes.
With Speed AI.
So we went with Speed AI. They've been around for a couple of years, been focusing most on PI, and then we finally have badgered them enough that they have expanded their offerings into the disability world. But basically, lead rescue. So they're monitoring our calls. And if they sense that an AI, that one of our live intake agents, is missing something or is rejecting a call that shouldn't be rejected, they will flag it and run it up to the intake manager, and the intake manager can go look at it real quick and see, ooh, we missed something there. We should take a second look at this case. Again, we just started like 2 weeks ago, so I've seen one demonstration with it. So apparently our intake manager thinks it's cool, gee whiz. We'll see in the long run if it becomes a tool that we use, but so far it's kind of cool. It's
really cool. So I'm on all the emails. So I get all the lead rescue emails, and it is really cool because even for our niche practice area of disability, they've done a great job of recognizing the difference between just a client that's really struggling and a client with like a valuable, like they understand the criteria, because our clientele is such a high touch. I think a high touch clientele vis-a-vis maybe obviously an immigration, maybe not so PI. I'm sure our PI friends would disagree with me.
Yeah, I've been to PI. It's 6 questions. That's all you need to know.
I do think that I do, as much as you say that we might one day just go to all robots, I think that our type of clientele will always need that human.
Right. So I don't envision this replacing our intake staff, but I envision it assisting them greatly.
Absolutely assisting. And I think that that's what the point of this episode, guys, is the tech tools that will assist your current team to allow you to grow and to scale. Right. So moving on to the second tech tool that this firm can't live without.
Okay. So number one that we can't live without is the AI
intake, and we have that in various forms here at the firm. So the second, I batched into client communications because we do that in so many different ways. So for example, we use case status and Banjaxed, and so I'll refer to those two vendors in the way that we use them and why they're so integral to the customer service that we're able to deliver here at Marc Whitehead Associates. We also vetted another one called Quillia that Mickey was really high on, and really, I thought it was really great. We have a great relationship with Case Status, and so we decided to stick with our existing relationship. But, one of the things that, as Mark mentioned at the beginning, we have mass torts clients, and we also have what I call our on-plan clients. I don't know what the rest of the industry would call our on-plan clients, but
I don't know.
Recurring clients. And so sometimes, especially with how many cases do you have now, Mark, in the firm?
In the firm or in that section?
In the whole firm.
4,500.
4,500 is what I would say. Sometimes you need to communicate something to all of your mass torts clients, or, particularly with the torts, like the CPAP. Hey.
When we were doing the CPAP and we were doing the AFFF, we were,
Camp Lejeune.
In Camp Lejeune. I mean, there are certain global announcements that go out that you need to send to everybody, in the technology to be able to hit a button and send an email or a text or whatever kind of smoke signal you want out to, hundreds and hundreds of people at one time is really just number one.
It's essential.
It's essential at this point.
If you're playing in the space that Mark is, I think that it's essential. And, because here's the thing, there is a tension, and at least from when I speak to the team with, we want to get ahead of the information to reduce the number of phone calls in, while at the same time, I expect you to deliver excellent customer service. And so when we say those two things, we're just trying to reduce. I mean, hey, Camp Lejeune, we just had a huge settlement, or
no, we didn't. Don't say that.
Well, sorry.
You're just going to send everybody's
CPAP.
CPAP. We just had a huge settlement.
They've approved, or there was this new bellwether trial. Whatever you're doing, you don't want everyone emailing you like, hey, I read about this in the news. What does this mean for my case? You want to get ahead of it and send the same information, and hopefully do reduce the number of calls, but also make sure that the message that you're sending is consistent to all your clients. And so for that reason, case status, Quillia, Banjaxed, whichever method you use, that's essential if you're playing at a certain level. I think office updates, I think that's always, just very important. I'm going to be closed December 24th. Not everybody's closed on December 24th, and you can't trust all your team to send out, to have out of office replies. So these types of messages, I think, are important for, that's why I really enjoy and need, I think at this point, these types of platforms. Also one of the things that we keep talking about, Mark, in this podcast is the fact that as consumers, our consumption of information has changed post-COVID. We expect immediacy, and we expect transparency. And I think that that's why case status is such a big game changer for us. Post-COVID, especially with Social Security, the length of time it takes to process and to get to a decision in a case is so long. And so that pizza tracker, I think, helps most of the time.
Yes, I think it does. So just to be clear, there has been no Camp Lejeune settlement. Do not call me.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
I'm going to have to say that 5 more times. My God, I can't believe you just that came out of your mouth.
Well, I mean, you could edit that out, but you won't because you like yelling at me.
I do.
So I do think so. The case status, Mark, you like to refer to it as you like calling it the pizza tracker.
Right. Love me some Domino's pizza tracker. I got it on my app. It's the one piece of technology that I know how to use. I got my credit card saved. I got my large Hawaiian pizza. Boom.
Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
I didn't think so either until it's how I ended up getting engaged. So it's a whole story. But.
Okay. Well, so that's what case status now specifically. So that transparency, anything that you can give to your clients to create transparency in their case. At Pilma, we talked a lot about the video messages. And we talked a lot about that in the podcast here, but it allows any of those platforms, listeners, that allow you to send updates to your client and make them feel more personal, more real time, to give them understanding of the wait period or what's happening in their case. We at the firm use Case Status and Banjaxed, and I think highly of both of those vendors.
Right. Okay, what's number 3?
Oh, before I leave number 3.
Before you leave number 2, which is client communications.
Client communications. Also, just some cool things about Case Status that I think are that you might want to look for, or just so listeners, what's available out there. Case Status also does NPS scores for us. Banjaxed is also getting to where they can do NPS scores for clients for us.
Net Promoter scores with your clients to see whether your clients love you or not.
So you're not just getting a communications platform. They also give me, Case Status also sends me monthly usage statistics. So, how long is it taking on average for our team to respond to client messages? What are not just NPS scores, but average of all of the different things. And so there's a lot of visibility on the user side as well. So just look for those things whenever you're shopping out there in the market.
Okay, number 3. Is number 3 going to be medical record summarization, or are you going to jam in Foundation AI here?
You're just going to really get me in trouble with Foundation AI, aren't you, Mark? You're just going to have so much fun with this because you're going to go see Foundation AI in 2 days.
So just telling that Foundation AI. So, I saved you because you almost got neglected here. So you owe me a dinner. I'm just saying.
Mark, you just threw me on the bus.
I totally threw you on the bus. Diana gets no dinner.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's do medical record summarization. We'll hit that really quickly, and then we'll close with Foundation AI because it is a really cool tool.
Okay.
Medical record summarization, I will say, if you're an estate planning attorney or family law, maybe not as big of a deal, so this may be more niche. However, find, again, go back to your basics. What is the most important piece of evidence in your in your practice area, and see if you can find a way to automate AI or use technology to implement that. So we are... disability law firm, guys, it goes without saying, medical records are the essential piece of all of our cases. And some of these cases, our OHO files can get upwards of 10,000 pages.
Stupid big.
Just
stupid big.
And we took our attorneys out of that summarization a long time ago, though I know a few of our SSD firms, much larger than us, that still do that by hand, that still have attorneys.
Oh, like just an incredible time suck beyond...
It is, and it's hard with our margins to find a tool.
You can't.
So we moved that over we outsourced that for a while, but then we found a tool that's specific for SSD. It's called Assure. Anyway, but Assure allows us to filter for disabilities by date because that's important for our practice area. So all of these tech tools, guys, we have Supio. We're Supio clients, co-counsel clients, and Assure clients.
And we're flirting with Even Up. We're not going to leave Even Up out of this because,
Is that
for
why
obvious
you are
reasons.
using their mug to
Yes, it
promote
is.
them?
I have Even Up mugs right here in front of me.
And I love that you are flirting with vendors, Mark. That's good for you. We also like to talk to Eve. They're very cool. And they have a wide plethora of things. Of services. I think they even play in the intake world as well. But these are just some of the ones that we know about. And so I would say that this is essential, but a couple of tips when it comes to medical record summarization. One of the things that we did early on is establish an SOP or a checklist for using them because you're
standard operating procedure.
Exactly, for utilizing AI for medical records summarization. Thank you, Mark. And
you start talking so fast, you just start blowing through your acronyms.
I love how you are laughing at me while I'm trying not to cough through.
You're just trying so hard not to hack up a lung in this podcast.
I'm really trying, guys. And Mark, instead of being sympathetic, is like enjoying all
throwing
this.
spitballs at her.
So the really cool AI tools now don't just summarize your medical records. They allow you to use a chat function to ask then AI about the medical records. So like, for example, one of the things that we've also done is create a standard set of questions that all of our one of our teams must ask every time they get a claims folder. Claims folder, again, guys, anywhere, it can be up for 5,000 pages. Right next to medical records can be the policy, can be the denial letter, can be the SOAP notes. And so what you're trying to get to is a very concise piece.
Can be the ERISA plan itself.
And you
Try
don't
reading
know.
an ERISA plan.
And you don't know where it is either. And it's not like the insurance company sends it to you in a set format.
Yeah, there's
every
no
time.
index at all. It's just in a lump of goo.
So what we did was establish the way that we use co-counsel, because that team uses co-counsel, to parse through and figure out what information is in the claims folder. They ask a standard set of questions to the AI to make sure that the information, so you're trying to standardize again the results that you're getting from each of your team members, particularly the ones that are resistant to using AI. So I would say
the people not long for this world.
Make sure that you're using or just establishing again the SOP, your checklist, your standardization of the way that you're using it, so that it can be that you're getting consistent results. Because it's still AI, you're still going to get just hallucinations sometimes. They say that they're not, but then I think we have enough time.
Hard questions.
Yeah, fair. I think we still have time to talk about our fourth favorite tool.
Yes.
At Marc Whitehead Associates,
which is
Foundation AI.
Oh, I thought it was the Keurig machine.
No.
Oh, damn.
That's
okay.
101, Mark.
Okay, got it.
Foundation AI, our fourth. And I think this one's so niche, but it is by far one of my favorites. And I'm not just saying that because I want to get back in their good graces, so they'll buy me dinner. So Foundation AI is it's a great tool. So it scans the mail. Human still scans the mail. But because the letterhead is so systematized, it allows it to pick up what the piece of letter is, the name of the client. It inputs it into our case management software, which is Litify, and then we'll trigger the task for the person to process the mail.
Yes, very simple, very brilliant tool.
This is Marc Whitehead, lawyer, entrepreneur, and business coach. Thanks for listening to the Successful Barrister podcast. If we've stirred your juices, hit me up with an email at marc@marcwhitehead.com. Remember, Marc is spelled with a C. And get on the Successful Barrister newsletter mailing list. Even better, let's set up a call. I'd love to talk to you about working together, talk shop, or just shooting the breeze.
All right, Diana, we're back. So, tech tools we can't live without. Our 5 key takeaways. And I believe you get to go first.
I do this time. So I would say I'd reiterate how we started, guys, and go back to basics. Figure out what actually moves the needle in your practice area. And so for us, that's obviously like medical record summarization. Don't start with that if you are an estate planning attorney, for example. Because you're going to get all these fancy tools pitched at you, and you're going to find shiny object syndrome like Mark recently has.
Oh boy.
And then you're going to end up with tech bloat. So be selective in the tools you implement to prevent overlap and waste.
Yes. So number 2, this is where I come up with bloat and overlap. is customer service means client communication. So how can you use AI for scalable communications? And I will say tech/AI for scalable communications. So we've talked about we use case status as a client communication tool where we can talk to our clients en masse, which is important when you're doing mass torts or when you're doing, practice such as SSD, something like that. That it is a tech tool that we can use to communicate, hit one button and send the same message out to hundreds and hundreds of clients if need be. Okay. Like, we're going to be closed for an ice storm or something fun like that.
That's actually, yeah.
So, but the other one, now this is one of my AI tools, is I have this dream that we can do what we call the, no
update?
The no update update. So we call it a no update call, which is nothing's going on with your file, which happens quite frequently in our world dealing with government claims because it's like ping pong. We hit the ball over the net back into the government's court and the government sits on it for 8 months. And there's nothing much we can do about that other than just kind of keep updating the client. There's this update tells you there's no update. So the no update. I have this fantasy that we can develop an AI tech tool that can make those phone calls for us so we don't have to necessarily use expensive human labor to do that. Now, I've seen technology that will allow you to do that. Now, whether it actually works well, whether ultimately it's a good idea if we do it or not, still up for debate. But I want to try it out. I just want to see what happens.
Oh.
So, and you're cringing every time I say this.
Yeah, because you like to drop bombs and then run, and they're like, "Hey, cool, look what I know."
Did. That's what I do for a living. So anyway, that's my number 2. Use tech for client communication, especially en masse.
The third takeaway that I had was if you have done all the other things and you're now at this level and you're like, where do I start? Start with intake. I think everything starts with intake. And there's a lot of really cool things happening with intake now and AI, particularly tech, that you can experiment with. And so whether that's the lead rescue or the AI agents, there's a lot of vendors out there. So I would start with intake if you're not sure where to start.
Okay. Number 4, medical records are the foundation of most practices out there, at least in the PI disability world, a lot of other places as well. And medical records can be voluminous, thousands and thousands of pages of records. And the ability to use tech and AI to summarize those medical records, especially when they put the cool little links where you can, like hyperlinks, where you can hit the button and link back to where the original record was, which actually helps you verify it. Everybody says AI can create, bad results. Well, that's the whole thing with the hyperlinking. When they hyperlink it back, you can check it easily. Check it.
And if you're in a hearing and it says, where'd you get that, counselor?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know
here.
how many times in the old days we'd be at a mediation, back when we used to actually go to mediations live, where you'd have this box, these boxes of medical records, and the defense counsel will make up some lie about your client, and you'd have to go dig and dig and dig. It'd take you hours to go dig out the facts. But anyway, AI, you can just do it. You can hyperlink to it. Easy peasy.
And our fifth and final takeaway for today's podcast is, and I'm not sure how much we actually hit on this today, but no long-term contracts. The AI and tech space, usually, but especially right now, is changing so fast that you don't want to get into a multi-year contract. Some of these charge by month, like co-counsel does, but others, they end up in yearly contracts and no long-term contracts, guys.
Negotiate. Even if they say no long-term contracts, don't believe them. They'll negotiate on price and they'll negotiate on terms, because right now the competition is hot and heavy between all the tech companies. They're all looking for market share and they're willing to deal to get market share.
All right, Mark.
All right. With that's our presentation on tech tools we can't live without. So, and I'm sure there will be more coming soon. So this will be fun. With that, I want to thank everybody for listening to the Successful Barrister podcast, where legal legends are made. I'm Mark.
And I'm Diana.
And together we're the dynamic duo of law. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, remember to rate and review it wherever you get your podcast and hit that share button. Share it with your fellow overworked lawyers who might need a little kick in the pants or a little inspiration. Come on, let's get the listenership up. So for more episodes and resources, visit us at successfulbarrister.com and be sure to visit our sponsor, Marc Whitehead and Associates, a national disability law firm, at www.disabilitydenials.com. Oh, hell, I forgot to do my email address. I skipped right over my email. If anybody wants to contact us, email me at marc@marcwhitehead.com. Marc spelled with a C. Don't forget.